Hey everyone, it's George here. I'm outside enjoying our great weather down here in Florida. I'm with my puppy. You can see there he is. And I want to talk to you about getting personal in the sales process. It's super critical. Without that, you are not going to get the sale. And I want to share with you an example from earlier this week. So earlier this week, and I'm sorry, I got to keep after the dog. Earlier this week, I went to visit a house that we're considering for our next place. And, I was just kind of checking it out. I thought I'd, just take a look. It's a really nice neighborhood. It's actually fairly near us. And I noticed there's a pickup in the driveway. So I immediately said, hey, I'm going to go knock on the door because it's either a handyman or it's the owner of the house, one of the two. So I knock at the door and lo and behold, it's the owner of the house. I introduced myself. Hey, we're one of the people that are working with a realtor. We're considering your house. And we struck up a conversation. And boy, did that change the possible transaction. Again, we don't know if it's going to go through or if we're going to make an offer. But the idea is that instead of me being some cloud, some guy behind a realtor, where all I am is an application and some paperwork, I can become someone who's very real to him. And here's a person, clearly he cares about a house. He was just really bragging about the kitchen, which by the way we thought was fabulous. He was telling us he's replacing the refrigerator. It's almost like he was trying to sell us on it. But the conversation came to his kids. He had twins, and as a result the house is not as big as he needed. So, and he has his in-laws around, so he's got some maid's kind of quarter, which for me is perfect for an office. And, we just struck up a great conversation. We were talking about, how long he's lived in the neighborhood. He was telling me about the people across the street who just happen to be people we know. And so here we're talking about people we know in common. And, I walked away from there just thinking, boy, this guy, if I wasn't considering, renting a house from him, he'd be a nice guy to maybe hang out with. I'm hoping that him is seeing, hey, look, this is, a guy that's professional. He lives with his wife of 34 years, because I made sure to mention that. He lives with 2 adult daughters. So, we're not going to be piling a ton of people in his house. It's going to be 4 people. It's much more than just the background check that he's probably going to be running. So when you're selling something, or when you're even buying something, like in our case, even though it is a seller's market down here in Miami, you really want to see how personal you can get. Because, for example, he had a very nice wine cellar that's built into his kitchen. Well, if you all know me, red wine is my thing. So, he saw that I like wine. Another thing that we had in common, and I'm sure that has some sort of influence in, what he's going to do as he considers who he wants to select as his next tenant. So get personal, get the sale, and the more personal you get, the more chances you are of getting that to close.